These are my version of how to tie my invisible shoes. You get both sides here. I took a combination of some of the other ones I've seen online and inspiration from my old Choco sandals. The great thing is that it goes in between your toes and over top to keep it securely in place, and this part goes up higher under your ankle to keep it a little bit more secure. I will show how to do this with some yarn and a piece of cardboard, as these have finally found their sweet spot and I do not want to mess them up. The great thing about them is they can slide off and on, which is pretty fantastic. Here's a look at the bottom of it, where we're headed. So far, so good. So here is my template. I have my two normal ankle ones. This one is back a little bit farther than the one they suggest online. You can kind of tell in my pattern that this is where my foot naturally arches on the outside, but that was too high up on my ankle and I always felt like my shoe was going to come off, so I put mine back down a little bit farther. I have two between my toes, which doesn't seem to bother me too much. I have just a little bit of rubber between them to make sure it didn't split through. So far it's been fine. This hole is right here by my pinky toe, where it means my foot, it kind of dents in right there. And this one over here sits right below the ball of my foot, right underneath that joint right there. So here's my string that I will show you how to do this with. You have to do it kind of the long way and backwards a little bit. So, with my foot on my pattern here. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to feed it down through the outside of my ankle, the outside of my shoe, and my ankle. I'm going to pull it most of the way through, not all the way, because I need some left over to tie. Like the ones in the other videos, I like to wrap it 3 times. 1, 2, 3. And that way it sits up a little bit higher on my ankle when we're all done. Around my ankle bone. So then it wraps around the outside, and I know you can't see this right now, so I'm going to move my leg. And then take the long end. I'm going to go down through there. And this part will sit where my ankle is right here, or the back of my heel. I'm going to wrap this 3 times. There's 1, 2, 3. There's that. That's it. Right on the back side of my ankle, right on my heel. And take my long piece here, and it's going to go over the top of my foot and down through the hole by my pinky toe. Right there. Right there. Now, I went underneath my string once, just because I thought it looked pretty. It's not necessary, I don't think. It's up to you. And then I went down through the top hole, and then immediately back up the bottom hole. Again, I don't know if it really matters. If that hurts your toe, switch it around. The great thing I love about these is they're very personal. You can, however your foot likes it best. Okay? And then I went down through the hole by my big toe joint there. Again, I wrapped it around just because I think it makes it look pretty. Now, the first time I did these, all I did was tie them. However, I found, like my original problem, this wasn't high enough on my ankle and I had a lot of trouble feeling like my foot was secure. So this is how I solved that problem. I tucked this underneath my open string, underneath the one that goes across my foot. I went around, I guess, twice technically, or once, however you want to look at it, like that. Now, this was a good idea, except for it didn't necessarily keep the string up around my ankle. So what I ended up doing is I put it through, just like in the other videos, and you have to change direction. You go underneath the string around your heel. And what that does is it kept this solid, but it kept it from moving around on my foot, which also put it up around my ankle bone. So then I could tie this right around my ankle, which gives us support around your heel, around your ankle to keep them secure, across your foot to keep that part connected around by your arch, over the toes to keep you from sliding around, back over, between your toes to keep you from sliding forward, and then finally up back around your ankle to keep it on your foot overall. That is how I wear my invisible shoes.